on a short cord today.
Oh my gosh, so it's going to be hard to like type.
No, I'm not going to type. I'm answering questions.
Do you want me to move that over for you?
No, I can't because the cord, the HDMI cord, we had a bit of a tech issue. That's connected to the TV is like, we had to use like the shortest one. So
he used his
kind
palms.
of, yeah. And I just want to make sure that we're live. I think we are. Actually,
No?
let me do a double check. I think we're
Okay.
live. If someone's watching,
Do you want me to just log on to YouTube?
Oh yeah, you can log on. Yeah. Look at that Swiss chart, huh? So pretty.
Okay, I think we're live. Are we live? Let me do a quick double check. Give me one moment. Entertain the crowd.
Entertain the crowd? Holy, I don't know. Okay, I'll entertain the crowd. Let's see here. I have some fun facts. Okay, fun facts. We're going to be talking about mushrooms in our second recipe.
It says it's live.
Oh, it's live?
Yeah.
Oh, we're live. Okay. Hi, everybody. Jeremy's just going to check if we're live. But hi, we learned that we are live from one of our audience members here. So we'll just wait until he comes back. I was just going to share some fun facts.
We're live.
Yeah.
So you can tell everyone the fun facts.
We will save the fun facts for later. Stay tuned. So it's quite exciting today. Farmer Glen and Cold Springs Organics. Although I probably should say Farmer Glen Young. I should say his whole name. Farmer Glen Young, Cold Springs Organics, Chef Jeremy.
Hi everyone. Yes, and Daniela Ferdini, our amazing dietitian. Thanks for joining us, everyone, today. We have a very exciting class. Those tuning in online, hello to you as well, and everyone here in person. It is September, already the end of September. I can't believe it already. But we will still enjoy the latest, the last, I guess, stretch of our growing season. And to kind of like send it off, I guess, do a nice little final celebration. Yes, we had the pleasure of working with Farmer Glen from Cold Springs Organics, who is doing incredible work with UHN, just amazing support. We had the pleasure of actually doing a virtual tour of his farm last week, which is now live on YouTube, which you can check out. It's about 20 minutes or so, which was just a great experience to learn about him and his experience with farming.
Where exactly is
So I think it's near Coburg, is what he was saying. Yeah,
Okay.
near Coburg. But he does the tours of the different farmers markets and stuff.
Okay.
But even just some tips on how to support our community and our local farmers, which I think is very noble, just to advocate as well.
Yes.
So let's jump into it. Yeah, I'm going to throw it to you.
You're going to throw it to me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So hello, everyone. I will do like a formal intro, right? So we're already thanking Farmer Glen, Cold Springs Organics. He has provided us with all the produce that we'll be using today. And of course, Jeremy, our amazing Jeremy, turned them into amazing recipes. But before we do that, I need to talk a little bit about cancer risk reduction and the connection to seasonal eating, to eating food that is freshly picked from the farm. And world cancer experts recommend that we consume more plant-based foods to reduce our risk of cancer. And this chart. So if you've taken any of our classes, you know that the color is a clue to the helpful plant compound in it. And then eating variety just makes sure we get all the different colors, different essential nutrients, antioxidants that we need to help with cancer risk reduction, but also improve our immune health and also linked to heart health, brain health. And the fall harvest is an ideal time to set this goal, try to achieve, well, I'm not going to say achieve this goal because we're going to do baby steps. We're going to talk about setting the goal and maybe heading out and checking out a farmer's market. If that's too hard for you, when you go to the grocery store, look for in-season produce because a lot of grocery stores have linked with their local farmers. And what's helpful about that is that sometimes we have an abundance of a certain produce at that time of year. So you might find some sales. So you might find something that is a bit more cost effective. And as I listen to the news, which maybe I shouldn't, the price of food just seems to be going up. So without further ado, I think we should move on to the first recipe. And it's no surprise that it contains Swiss chard. So this is a Swiss chard salad with lemony garlic croutons. And the Swiss chard is a dark green leafy vegetable. And I would probably call it a nutrition powerhouse of our fall season. It's rich in vitamin A, C, and K. It has iron, it has calcium, magnesium, all the heavy hitters when it comes to the important nutrients that we need. It also contains fiber and special compounds like beta-carotene and polyphenols. So the beta-carotene and polyphenols, that is what's kind of connected to the colors. And today, Jeremy has combined the Swiss chard with the chickpeas. There they are, they're hiding underneath. And the chickpeas provide our excellent source of plant protein in this dish. Very important for maintaining muscle mass, improving function, mobility, even our immune system. So I'm going to stop talking now. We're going to get over to Jeremy.
That is so much. That's amazing. Thank you. All right, so we're going to jump into this recipe featuring this amazing Swiss chard. And again, like the colors just like scream out to you that you want to cook it or do something with it. What I want to do something a little bit different. Dark leafy greens, they're fantastic, and usually we cook them, we throw them in soups, we saute them. I'm going to treat this more like a salad, like I mentioned, and we're actually going to use it, the leaves, as its raw form. Now, in its raw form, it might have a little bit more texture. It's not like a delicate lettuce leaf, but I think it works really well with this sort of kind of warmish salad. So to take it there, to bring some more depth of flavor to those like heartier greens, we're going to make these really, really delicious seasoned breadcrumbs. Now, this is a nice little trick, which I'll share with you, that you can use for not only salads, but this is a really nice topping for like a soup or pastas or rice dishes. And what's nice is it's a great way to use up some of that bread that you might be in your freezer that you want to use up, right? Or it's a day or two old. Come on in. And what I like is you can make a big batch. You can put it into a container or a freezer bag, pop it in the freezer, and it will last for months and months and months. And then you can just add it to your dishes as you go. And it completely transforms the dishes.
It elevates the dishes.
And it's like a little bit of bread and some seasoning. Yes, exactly. So what I want is really this Swiss chard to be the star here. But we're just going to sort of, in the back notes, add some extra texture and flavor. So we have some bread, roughly chopped. This is a nice way you can use some, like if you want a whole grain bread, like a nice way to get some extra fiber. Yeah. Otherwise, roughly chopped. And if you want it finer, like a bread crumb, you can definitely do it a little bit finer. But I like more of that texture here. And in a pan with just a little bit of olive oil, we're going to start toasting this up. So I'm going to add a little bit here.
Where's my remote?
I hid the remote from Daniela because she got a little
How did you
remote
do
app.
the last time without?
There it is. So we have some breadcrumbs in there, or the coarse chopped bread. And then do this whatever flavors you enjoy. So again, Farmer Glenn picked some herbs for us. So we have some beautiful sage here, which I just washed and just sort of tore it. Some of the leaves are really nice and whole. I'm going to throw that in here, warm that up. I think, again, fall, you're thinking of these like heartier herbs.
Is that number 3 or number 2 of the remote?
I'm afraid to tell you. There we go.
There we go.
Number 3. All right. So throw some sage in there, and then some garlic, and mix it with olive oil, and pop it into the freezer, and into like ice cube trays or the freezer, and into like ice cube trays or those. They have those little silicone molds, which are fantastic. Only because garlic does not really last too long in the fridge. Even if it is submerged in oil, there is a potential risk of botulism. So you do want to be very, very careful with garlic. So if you preparation, which I love, mix it with a little bit of olive oil. You can do water too. I just think it's better with olive oil and it's easier to use in your dishes. And then in the freezer. Okay.
And label it so that you don't end up putting it in your drink.
Label it.
Didn't you have an awful experience of that?
I
Was
mean,
it you?
Yes, it was me. I wouldn't say awful, but yeah, my mom used
A
to
surprising.
put pesto in the
Oh,
ice
the
cube
pesto.
trays. Yeah. And,
Refreshing.
yeah. It was surprising, for sure. All right, so some really, really nice garlic in here as well. And we're just going to toast this up. So you should, if you're at home watching, you have to sort of imagine. But here, you should start to smell the sage, garlic working there with the bread, those coarse breadcrumbs, and then you can add a little pinch of salt if you want here, and like a few minutes. It really does not take much time at all, just until we get some nice color. Okay? So, breadcrumbs are doing their thing. We're going to work back to the Swiss chard. And to this, what I want to do is first...
Sorry. It can smell it even more.
Over there. Oh,
It's
yeah.
really traveling. Wow.
We designed the kitchens that
Yeah,
they
so the
smell.
smell. Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I want to do is the beautiful color of the stems. I'm going to take these and just roughly chop them. And we're going to add this. We're going to reserve this. But what I'll do is I'll just put it in my bowl of chickpeas for now. I want to warm this through. So again, it's like this comforting, sort of warming salad. All these great textures and flavors.
I like that you're including the stems as well and not just
Absolutely.
leaves, right?
I think it's very common for us to think of, throw away the broccoli stem and the chard stem and maybe some stems like kale stems.
Okay.
They're pretty hardy,
Yeah.
they're pretty stringy. But these are delicious. They're absolutely fantastic, and they're so colorful. Like it's definitely use them, keep them in here, and we'll get back to that in a moment. And then with the leaves, they're all different sizes. So just wash them well, and then what I like to do is just stack them, and then you can sort of do a little tuck and roll here. Okay, and then holding that little roll of the Swiss chard, you take your knife and just again take your time, and then just slowly work your way through that chard. Now, because it is a thicker green, I want to cut it as thin as I can, just so that you don't have like a big piece that you're gnawing on for a while. And if you do prefer it cooked so that it's softer, you can absolutely do that as well, and make it sort of like a cooked Swiss chard dish.
I guess you would just submerge it for a little bit or steam it.
Yeah, cook it quick. Yeah, you can just saute it like you're doing here with breadcrumbs, or you can
I like the
steam it.
saute. I think that's
Yeah, absolutely. Get some more flavor in there. All right, so I did a bit of prep before. Did not expand into a giant bowl.
Imagine that, right?
Yes.
Jeremy, that didn't work for me at
Yeah.
home.
It's a little chef magic. Okay, so we have our Swiss chard greens. Again, still containing a lot of that color running through the stem, which is beautiful. Our breadcrumbs are nice and toasty and getting some really nice color. I am happy with this. You can push it a little bit further if you want, but we've got a show to do, so we're moving.
Okay, so breadcrumbs first.
Yeah, so breadcrumbs first, so I'm going to
Not what I
put these into a
expected.
bowl. And then you can smell that garlic. Again, keep an eye on it because we don't want that garlic to burn.
So it's a healthy amount of breadcrumbs in there.
Yes.
Croutons, I mean.
Croutons, yes, absolutely. And then in that pan, add those chickpeas and the stems. Right. Okay, so we'll let that warm through. The one thing, I'm just making a mess.
That's okay.
Right.
We love to see it, right? Yeah, usually it's so pristine, but now you're one of us.
Yes.
You're one of us. We're not one of you.
I always make a mess. I always make a mess.
We're so good.
To the breadcrumbs, I forgot, you can add some lemon zest as well. So just taking the lemon. Glenn did not grow the lemons. That would be a game changer. But most of it is from his farm. So we're just removing some of that lemon zest.
And that's the thing too, right? Like we're using chickpeas. They were canned.
Canned,
they were
rinsed, again.
Yeah, so
Convenience.
it's exactly using the canned goods for convenience for things that might be harder to prepare, and balancing it out with whatever is the season. And it's a beautiful marriage of the two.
Love it. All right, so just warming those chickpeas and those stems through. Just to soften the stems, maybe just slightly. But again, this should take like 15 minutes from front to end. Shouldn't take too long. So we have our greens, we have our breadcrumbs, and the chickpeas are ready to go. So now we're ready to combine. So we'll take that lemon. Okay, I cut one earlier.
Oh, okay. And it wasn't as juicy?
No, very juicy, but
Very
not
juicy.
one seed.
Oh,
And I'm like,
wow.
I don't know if I've had a lemon without a seed before.
I don't think I have either.
So I was guessing if this was going to be the same, and it looks like this.
I don't have the strength in my hands to do it like that.
Yeah.
But,
So
mhm.
yeah, if you don't, fork. This is the
I
fork
like this trick, and this is what I do most of the time.
trick. It makes it, if it's a little challenging to squeeze
Yeah.
the lemon, take your fork and you put it right inside that lemon and squeeze it around the fork. It makes it much, much easier, and you're getting more juice actually out of it. This way.
Although I guess that's the physiotherapists and OTs would probably want us to exercise
Work
our
it.
hands a little bit.
Yeah, you can work it a little bit. All right, so lemon in there. Beautiful.
Now it's glistening. Now it's just glistening.
Yeah.
The eye appeal is amazing.
Don't need to do too much. A little bit of olive oil.
And olive oil is fine because there are some vitamins that are better absorbed with a fat medium. So vitamin A, E, K, which we have in the salad, or we have the A and the K, will be absorbed better because we've combined it with the olive oil.
So a small pinch of salt. Usually if I'm making a dressing, I'll combine those all together so that the salt dissolves through. But we don't have time for that. No more
We
mucking
got
around.
that quick and dirty version.
Yeah. Okay, so just a little bit of that acid, the olive oil,
I want to bring it down, but I know I'm
toss
making
it.
people nauseous. Not fine. We need
We'll
to
get
do
the
it.
chickpeas in here, nice and warm stems. We'll give that a nice little toss as well.
We also have one of our favorite power couples in here. Anybody want to give it a try? What power couple we love to talk about? Yes. Yay! She gets
What is it?
1,000 chickpea points.
Can you repeat the power couple?
Oh
Daniela?
yes,
I missed
yes. Iron and vitamin C. So the plant form of iron in the chickpeas is not as easily absorbed as iron you find in animal foods. So nature has a way of helping us out. And vitamin C is the key to helping us absorb more of the iron from the chickpeas. So having that combo is great. And you can do it with the salad. So you saw with the legumes, the dried peas, the dark green leafy vegetables. We also had some lemon, which is vitamin C as well. But I'm going to stop talking because look at this salad.
There it goes.
Holy moly.
So just a big pile of it. And
Wow, huh?
don't be shy with the breadcrumbs because again, the texture and the flavor is really, really going to help. And that's it.
Thank you, Farmer Glenn.
Yes, thank you for
Thank
Glenn.
you, Chef Jeremy.
Oh, you're welcome. If you wanted a little bit extra, a little bit of shredded cheese, a little bit of parm on top would be fantastic. I realized that I used cheese in almost every recipe today, so this one will go sans cheese. But
would we say chef's kiss to that?
chef's kiss, sure. There we go. So that's our first recipe here. Our Swiss chard. Sweet.
Okay.
Smells good.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
amazing. It smells better over there, right? Yeah. Your mouth must be watering. I'm talking to the audience right now. At home, just think about it. Just think about it. Try to visualize it. Try to recall. Okay. Creamy mushroom polenta. That is our second recipe today. And the fall harvest is a great time for hearty and comforting meals. Soups, stews, and this mushroom polenta, creamy mushroom polenta. I know it's warm outside here in Toronto, but just think of one of those crisp, cold days and how you would just enjoy having this as a meal. The softer texture in this dish is also good for people who may have a sore mouth or sore throat, chewing difficulties, swallowing difficulties. So it's something to consider. And then Jeremy will show us how we can play around with whether we use milk or cream or a dairy alternative to bump up the protein, also to, what else? Oh, bump up the calories if your appetite's poor and you need more. So mushrooms are a popular choice in the fall and the star of this dish. They might be small, but they're mighty. They have a lot of flavor, we know, but what we forget is that they're also high in nutrition. Mushrooms provide several vitamins, including a lot of our B vitamins like niacin, riboflavin. They also have selenium, potassium, phosphorus, and copper. What's cool about mushrooms is that it's the only produce that can help us get more vitamin D. So it contains a pre-vitamin D substance. When that's exposed to light, it's converted into a vitamin D that our body can use. So usually when we have mushrooms, once we eat them and we are outside in sunlight, our body does that job. But what they're finding now with mushrooms is that if they expose the mushrooms themselves to the sunlight or ultraviolet light, that conversion happens in the mushrooms. So it's easier for us. And for those of us living in a colder climate, and the sun's going away earlier now, it's setting earlier, and we don't have a lot of light, or if you're not out as much, we may have some difficulties with vitamin D. So that's something to consider. And I will save my fun facts for later.
Fun fact. Actually, quickly.
Yes. We have a question.
We have a question and a comment. So the first comment is the smell feature is not working.
I'm so sorry.
Apologize. And then the question is, so back to the first recipe, and then we'll come back to this just quickly, and then maybe I'll start cooking. Is Swiss chard similar to spinach regarding the oxalic acid?
Oxalic acid, yes.
And how it interferes with calcium absorption.
Yeah. So all the dark green leafies will have that oxalic acid. So it is something to consider if you're taking calcium medication to have it at a separate time. But you can still reap the benefits of the Swiss chard or the dark green leafy vegetables. Or if you really want to stay away from that, I'm sure you can mix it with some other leafy greens that may not be dark green, or we could even mix it with peppers, I think. I could see making that with peppers or tomatoes.
Absolutely.
So you have other options if needed.
Fantastic. Great question.
Thank
and those
you.
watching at home, you can ask any questions.
Yeah.
So just type them in the chat. Okay, so back to our mushrooms and our polenta. I'm going to get to the polenta in a second. We're going to start off with the mushrooms. So these are these incredible black trumpet mushrooms. Again, thank you, Glenn. I know he grows a few. Part of his garden tour, he has a special mushroom. I don't know what you call it. It's like a facility, a little area that he has all these different mushrooms growing. And mushrooms, they're I guess we don't,
We don't
always
think about
them,
No.
that they're grown here.
Oh, yes.
Like we grow them in Ontario. They grow all year round, so it is like a local, seasonal vegetable that you can get pretty much every month, which is great.
And this isn't the fun fact, but I did find that the biggest producers of mushrooms is Ontario and BC. And they supply over 90% of the mushrooms.
In
And,
Canada? Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so what I'm doing is you can use a knife, but I like to just tear them into pieces so that they're a little more irregular, and it's a lot easier. So we can just do that into smaller sizes here, and this will work with any mushrooms. I think in the recipe I just put mushrooms as a generic.
Any variety.
You can use any variety that you do enjoy. What I will say is watch them well, obviously, before you use them. They are coming from live earth, right? And there's a common sort of misconception where it's like, don't wash your mushrooms because it makes them soggy, and that's nonsense. Mushrooms are like almost 90% water. So it doesn't really absorb as much as you think it does. Wash them, and what I like to do is like almost like lettuce. Big bowl of water, all your mushrooms in there, and just agitate them to get all that soot off, and then you can sort of wipe them down. If you have like special foraged mushrooms from a trusted source, do not go pick mushrooms and eat mushrooms yourself. You have a disclaimer advisory.
Yes.
Do not pick mushrooms in your backyard and eat them. Then for some of the delicate mushrooms, using a damp cloth, you can brush them off, but I always suggest just wash them. You may have to cook them an extra 10 seconds to get rid of that extra water that it took on. So definitely worth it. Okay, so just tear up the mushrooms to all these amazing pieces. We're going to take our pan and medium-high heat, because the key here, what I want to do is get rid of that water that's in the mushrooms. We want to get some color. We want to get some caramelization developed. So just a little bit of olive oil. Don't need too much. And just dump all of your mushrooms in. Try not to overcrowd your pan too much. Like, it's not a huge deal, because honestly, if you've ever cooked mushrooms before, you know that you'll start off with like a massive bowl, and then it works down to this like little cup, right? They'll find their way, and you just might have to cook them a little bit longer, but just stir and cook. And when they start to space out evenly so that the water can escape a lot quicker, that steam can escape a lot quicker, that's when you'll start to get some of that caramelization, some of that color development, which is what we want, okay? So mushrooms in there. If you want some aromatics, go for it. This is just some thyme. I'm just throwing it in, branches and all. If you want to throw garlic, if you want to throw...
You didn't do your...
Oh, you know why?
Why?
Okay, so
there's a reason why.
Okay, so
Yes.
with herbs, those essential oils, we want to express them. We want to get them sort of activated. That's what makes it so flavorful, so aromatic, and what makes our food taste so great. There's a couple ways you can do that. So one of our classes, our hands-on classes, just because it's so much fun, you can take your herbs, and it works with anything, and either just gently rub it with your finger, or just whack the cutting board a few times, which is way more fun. And then
Smells awesome.
yeah, you can smell it, but really, really smell aromatic. So that's one way. The second way is through heat. And so I'm adding it to the pan. So
That's
it's
why
going
we
to
don't have to.
not as fun, but
But speaking of fun,
yes.
fun fact, mushrooms actually double their size in 24 hours. Not that I'm going to sit there and watch a mushroom, but I thought it was pretty cool that you could probably go out and there's just something small, and then 2 days later, poof, that's probably what Farmer Blend experienced as well.
Oh yeah. Okay, so mushrooms are doing their thing. Now this is the polenta. This is the base. Okay, and I'm breaking it into two different sections because you can use anything as a flavor, as a topping, as an addition. It could be mushrooms. It could be some leftover roasted chicken. It could be canned chickpeas. Like, the toppings are completely up to you, which is fantastic. But the base,
cooked Swiss chard.
cooked Swiss chard, exactly. But the base is pretty standard. Now, if you've ever cooked polenta before, I grew up on polenta, but polenta can be time-consuming to cook and it requires a lot of stirring. This is a very, very quick, easy, no hassle method that I picked up from chef Jacques Pepin, who is like a classic. He's been doing it for ages, and I love him. And I follow this recipe almost all the time at home because I don't have the patience to stand over my stove top.
Right.
So, 1 cup or 1 part of your cornmeal. This is a fine milled cornmeal, which will give you a creamier polenta. You can get the coarse cornmeal. It actually sells it as a coarse cornmeal, which will work as well, but it has a little more texture to it. So it's completely up to you. Okay, put it into a baking dish of your choice. I just ran out of my baking dishes, so I'm using a pan. Whatever you have that is oven safe, you can use. Okay. All right. So 1 part of that cornmeal is going to go in, and 4 parts of liquid. That could be chicken broth, that could be veg broth, that could be water, that could be milk, right? If I'm trying to make this maybe more calorie dense, right?
More protein.
More protein, I can go that route as well. Whatever liquid you want, and it doesn't have to be warm. You could just throw it in cold, okay? We're making this easy. I made things a little more complicated by making a mushroom stock. But this, for me, I think it goes well because I'm using mushrooms, and it is super simple. So my like little kind of secret ingredient that I love having is dried mushrooms. Okay, keep them in the pantry; they last forever. Even like a small little handful makes a massive difference for the flavor. And all you do is put them in the container and steep it with hot water, and that's it. And you have a mushroom stock. Like it's really, really flavorful,
So easy.
really, really easy. And so we're going to put that in.
And do you leave the dried mushrooms once they reconstitute?
Yeah, absolutely. All the goodness.
Give a different type of texture to the meal.
Absolutely. The only thing that you want to watch for is sometimes at the bottom, there'll be a little sort of sandy from the dried mushrooms. So like that little last bit, I don't throw in. That was 2 cups because I don't have a container that's big enough. So I have to break it up, and we'll just add just regular water for the last 2 cups.
Of course, he doesn't measure it, but you know, you and
This
I would.
is, yeah. You can measure this. It's forgiving. The recipe is very forgiving.
Okay.
Now it's going to look like you added way too much liquid and that the ratio is off. Do not be tempted to add more cornmeal. It will expand in the oven and it will get very, very thick. So you want a very, very liquidy mixture here, and just whisk it together until it combines. And we'll season it a little bit because I did not season my broth. So just a little pinch of salt.
Starting to smell the mushrooms a little bit. Is it wafting over to you?
Yeah, okay, so nice color there. Okay, now maybe a little pepper. Whatever you want to throw in.
Cornmeal, so cornmeal used to make polenta, is also gluten-free. So if you have celiac disease or gluten sensitivity, it's something to consider. Just make sure when you get the package, you check the ingredients that they haven't added anything else and that it's made in a certified gluten-free facility. But otherwise, naturally, gluten-free.
Yeah, and that's it. That's the hardest part of the recipe and the waiting. So put a lid on top or wrap it with foil, pop it in the oven, 350 degrees, and let it go for like 40 to 45 minutes, and it's done at that point. It's going to be super creamy and delicious, and then you can add your mushrooms on top at the end, or if you have the time and you want to just throw it in all at once, just throw it in all at once, and it's going to be absolutely incredible. Right? I did some mushrooms earlier. This.
There we go.
So you know what? Why don't we just throw it all at once? We'll make it easy. Okay, beautiful. Now, if you want it to be super soft and creamy, especially if you maybe have swallowing the sour milk, up the ratio. So instead of 4 to 1, maybe go 5 to 1, maybe even 6 to 1. Whereas this is going to give you almost like a thicker porridge consistency. So you can adjust as you need.
Okay, so you can really play with it. I see what you mean about it being forgiving, so it's not like
Absolutely.
cooking rice or something like that.
Okay, so that goes in the oven 40 to 45 minutes until it's nice and creamy. It's ready to serve. Or you can enhance it a little bit more. And this is a Chef Pepin little staple. French roots. A lot of his dishes are what they call gratin. So again, this is not a nice hearty dish, and this is a great way to sort of bump up some of the extra calories. A little bit of milk or cream, just pour it on top, and then you can put a little bit of cheese if you want, and then just pop it under the broiler, just until like.
Oh my gosh, this is good.
And
Wow, look how amazing this is.
This here.
Oh, sorry, I'm so focused
Director,
on.
shot two.
I know. I was just too busy looking at it.
There we go. And so
Oh,
it should
look.
have
Look at this.
should have a nice little wobble.
Okay, a
On
little
top.
wobble.
But again, mixing it in advance is just going to save you a ton of time. And should we start this?
Well, I'm going to give you a couple of other points about the polenta or the cornmeal, which I found really interesting. So there's so many different types of fibers and carbohydrates, and I don't know if you've heard of a term called resistant starch. It's something, yeah, okay. So resistant starch really just means a starch that resists digestion by your body, and so then it can act more like a fiber, and it can feed the healthy bacteria in our gut. And so about 25% of the starch in the corn used to make the cornmeal is a resistant starch, and it's a different type of corn than what you would have from corn on the cob. So I thought that was pretty cool. The resistant starch also is something important if you're trying to manage your blood sugars, because it's slower to digest, keeps you full for longer, helps you have longer lasting energy, and also doesn't create any spikes in your blood sugars.
All right. Well, I plated some up. That is our
Gorgeous.
creamy mushroom polenta, courtesy of some help from Chef Pepin and obviously from
Farmer Glenn.
Thank you for number two.
And obviously Cheryl. I just created a new dish. Chef Jeremy, not Sherry. Okay. So, wow, we're already on our third recipe. And this is a pumpkin ricotta semolina cake. Always love that we end with something a little bit sweet. I do have that sweet too. So we could finish a fall demonstration. Are there questions, Jeremy?
Continue,
Yeah,
and then
continue.
I'll
Okay.
relay.
We couldn't have a fall harvest demonstration without having pumpkin, right? And so Farmer Glenn delivered. We have pumpkin. And pumpkin is low calorie. It's decorative. I know we all use it for Halloween or Thanksgiving. But it's also low calorie, nutrient rich. It has that orange color, so you know that it has beta carotene in it, a lot of carotenoids. It also has vitamin C and potassium, fiber, and several antioxidants. Together, this helps to support healthy digestion, helps with our eye health because one of the carotenoids is lutein, and you would hear a lot about that. You could see it even at the grocery store, at the pharmacy. A lot of containers have lutein eye health. Not that I want you to get the supplements. I want you to get it from the actual food. And the ricotta, the cool thing about the ricotta in this dish is that it boosts the protein. So we need the protein to help with healing, especially going through treatment. We also talked about how it can help with muscle formation. And with that, most of the protein in the ricotta is a whey protein. And whey protein, research has shown, is more easily absorbed and may promote muscle growth, help lower blood pressure, and reduce high cholesterol levels. So a cool item to include in your dish.
Okay, we're gonna get started. There are a couple questions that are coming through, but we're gonna answer it right at the end because we're just gonna get this in the oven and then we're gonna answer it at the end.
It's our last
So,
recipe. So
I see your questions. We will get to it. All right. Yeah, this is So when I met up with Farmer Glenn the other day to pick up this amazing harvest that was just picked pretty much Tuesday, this is what initially caught my eye. Like everything looks fantastic.
Yeah.
But I love squash and all the different varietals of squash, and I've never seen this varietal before. So I think I remember him saying it's called an autumn frost, which is such a cool name.
You
for a
can kind of
squash.
see a bit of a frost.
It does look like a little bit of frost.
Frosty.
Yeah, over here. Yeah. Autumn frost. So that's what we're going to be using today. We're making a dessert. I love the versatility of winter squash. I mean, you can use them both savory and sweet. And because they're so sweet themselves, I think they just work really well in desserts where you can sort of balance out the sweetness and you don't have to add as much as you typically would because of the sweetness of the vegetable. So I know in the recipe I said pumpkin. That is probably the easiest and the most accessible winter squash in its pureed form. So if you don't want to go through the hassle of having to roast the squash yourself, grab a can of the just 100% pumpkin, not the pumpkin pie mix that has other things in it. Just 100% pumpkin, and follow the recipe as is, and it's going to be great. If you do want to roast it yourself, this can be quite a challenge to prep. So anyone tried to prep squash before? No? Yes? I think I may have asked this question maybe to some of you before. Yeah, it's not the easiest thing. Not the easiest thing. So a little tip, what I like to do is any of those harder root vegetables, especially these squash, wash it, put it onto a pan, and just throw it into the oven. And let the oven do all the heavy lifting for me. So I don't even take out my knife. I don't add anything to it. Just wash, pan, oven, and I just leave it in there like 375.
I see some wide eyes in the audience as to, I think it's pretty cool.
375 just until it's soft and nice and golden brown.
Ta-da!
Yeah. So you can sort of feel it. Oh, yeah.
My most favorite.
Awesome. Yeah, so it is just a really nice, convenient way to still access that vegetable, but without all the heavy lifting and all the prep, right? So soft, ready to go, and knife.
And also, if you have neuropathy or challenges with, even with fatigue as well, this is an easy way to do it. I like that you call it a non-active form of cooking. So you're still cooking. It's not active.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. While it's roasting, like it might take an hour, like for a heartier squash like this, but we're not standing at our counter, and especially if you maybe deal with neuropathy, like you mentioned, you can't grip the knife. It's also a round vegetable that you're trying to apply a lot of pressure on, which isn't the safest thing. So, little hack, just roast it whole. And then at this point, once you cut it down the middle, and you can use a butter knife, really, you're just using a spoon to do all that work. So taking out the seeds, which someone asked if they can roast the squash seeds. You absolutely can. They're very tiny, so they would be very time-consuming to separate, but you can. And then you just scoop out the inside and ready to use as is. This would be like, honestly, just scooping this out, a little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper. This would be an amazing little side dish on its own, right? Now, specifically for this squash, was it? Because I have never used it before, and I thought it was, because it looked like a butternut squash, it's going to be similar to a butternut squash. It is not. It is closer to your Hubbard squashes, which if you've ever used them before, they are a little denser, not as much water, and I prefer them for desserts because I find them a little bit sweeter, and they're, again, because they're a little starchier, it just works really, really well in desserts. So if you are using something like this, you can use either or. Okay, so that's how you roast your squash. We're gonna get back to the recipe. A little detour.
It's a great detour.
All right, so bowl. We are using semolina. Semolina, if you've ever used it before, if you've ever heard of it before, almost all of your dried pasta that you buy in the grocery store is made from semolina flour. It is a very hearty flour. It is something that is, I learned is actually pretty nutritious. It's got some
pretty nutritious, yeah. So it's pretty high in protein. So what you want to look for is semolina that has been made from ground durum wheat ground, but also enriched. So enriched means you're adding back the nutrients that were lost during the refining process. So you're able to get back some of the B vitamins and some of the fiber. Well, not the fiber, but the B vitamins. But it actually has pretty high in fiber. So like a third cup, that's about a quarter cup?
Yeah, half.
Is that a half cup? Okay. Obviously, I do need my measurement tools, don't I? So, but for a third cup, you get about 3 grams of fiber. You also get 7 grams of protein. So that's pretty good if you think about it. And a third of our needs of folate, which is a B vitamin. A third of our needs for riboflavin, another B vitamin. And I think that's all I have. But still good.
So this is going to give this sort of cake, this sort of ricotta cake, some structure. And to this, we're going to add a half cup of the semolina. Now, sorry, if you can't find semolina, you can use regular flour. If you want to go flourless, you can use ground almonds. So almond flour. So you can sub it in. It all works.
Everybody,
fantastic. This ricotta cake is something that from my dad's side, from where they're from in Italy, this is something that they would make that was so special, so delicious. I'm kind of twisting it a bit, but it's the base of it is fantastic, and I'll show you where you can sort of make some changes.
Is he watching?
No, he might be. My parents might be watching. Actually, they probably are. Hi. Okay, so how do they add them all? All right. So semolina in with 1.5 cups of water in there, and we'll whisk it. I've seen some versions of like a semolina cake where they cook the semolina over in a pot first for like 20 minutes and then add it. This is going to cook in the oven, so
perfect.
Yeah, we're going to
love using the oven.
We're going to skip that step and just make it easy. So that is our sort of semolina mix, and then to this we're going to add 3 eggs. Drop that in.
Definitely adding protein here.
Yeah, and another way where you can get some local ingredients, right?
Does Farmer Glenn have eggs too? No.
You know what? I think he was saying that he was looking into it, but I don't think he does. But again, there's so many amazing local farmers that do have eggs. I would highly suggest you check them out. And I found price-wise they're actually pretty comparable. You might have to travel for them, but they're worth it.
I started going to St. Lawrence Market on Saturday mornings. Yeah. Do you know of is that where you get your eggs?
Yeah. And it's cheaper. And they're organic, I believe?
Yes. Yes. And I found that you can find parking that's pretty cheap, and if you go early in the morning. I'm not an early morning person, so it's an event for me. So I always have to go and also have my coffee. But the treat about going in the early mornings is that you can avoid the crowds.
Love it. Yeah, find your local farmers market. Take advantage.
How early is early?
How early is early? 8 o'clock. That's not too early, right? I mean, I think some of my friends will go 7:30, 7 o'clock, but 8 is for me to get there. It opens at 6? Okay, so if you're an early bird, go there for 6. Yeah. Then you'll get the best of the best. Is that when you go?
Yeah.
Way to go. Nobody's there. Yeah.
Smart. All right, we're adding 2 cups of that cooked squash or canned pumpkin, if you want, here. And we'll whisk this through. Use the biggest bowl that you have, because I am already identifying an issue. I'm whisking as slowly as possible. You can also even just chuck this all in a blender and just do it that way.
The rich yellow color.
The color's amazing. Unbelievable. Like the semolina's contributing to that as well, but the eggs and then the pumpkin. Whoa, that was close. Okay, mix that in. And then the ricotta cheese. So this was very traditional. I remember growing up, Cheesecake to me was this. Cheesecake was
Yeah.
not what
That's
we
right.
have as like North American cheesecake. It was with ricotta cheese. So quite different in the fact more texturally, right? Because cheese has a little more texture to it. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
You can definitely sub this with a cream cheese if you want something a little bit smoother as well.
The thing is, the cream cheese, like for our purposes, isn't going to give you the protein. So, but if you like the cream cheese, then you can maybe do mix and match, half and half, right?
Yeah,
And then
absolutely.
you get both.
Try it with just this first, though.
Yeah. Okay. First.
All right, cup and a half of which I did measure out so that it was exactly what I had left.
Okay.
I'll mix that through, and then any flavors that you want, you can add them in. So we're sticking with that sort of fall theme, pairing with that squash. So some cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg, a little bit of ginger.
You're doing really good with the issue you identified there.
You know what? The thicker it gets,
Yeah.
the less sloshy it gets.
Yeah.
So, you know, a little bit more control. And then if you want to add a touch of sweetness, you can add whatever you prefer. I'm adding maple syrup. So just a little bit of maple syrup. This is making a big torch. So we have about, you can do a quarter cup to half a cup depending on what you want. We're getting a lot of sweetness from the squash as well. And I know it might sound weird, but just a little pinch of salt, a quarter teaspoon, and this is going to make a massive difference, really enhancing all the other flavors in here.
Especially the cinnamon, I probably.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that's it. Get your
Pretty simple. So just the semolina, some water and milk, pumpkin, eggs, ricotta.
I mean,
Okay.
there's a
I
few
can do
there's a few ingredients here, but again,
I can do
just stirring it. That's probably the biggest challenge. Whenever cake pan, tart pan, pie pan you have, this is just spring form, as you can see by the surprise drop there. And you can either grease it really well, or if you have some parchment, what I like to do is take the bottom of the pan, throw the parchment on, and then place that ring back on top,
Okay. Much easier
and
than
then
trying
close
to.
it. And then you can
Okay.
tear. I know we have some parchment pans in the crowd here. This is for you. This is for you.
Yeah, we missed it, right? Was it, right?
When
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
going to make a comment, but I thought, no,
No, right here.
maybe something happened in that relationship.
No, I love my parchment. All right, so line the bottom. If it's like an older pan, you can just use some butter or grease it, just so it doesn't stick. And then you're going to take your mixture, pour it in. All right. I don't want to lose any of it. It looks like it's very wet, and it is a dessert that is going to be, it's not like a cake. It's going to be like on the more moist side, the wet side. Okay, we're going to put this into the oven.
Not exactly a pudding, but like a pudding
No.
cake.
It's like a cheesecake, but
A
it's like a
cheese-
soft, it's like a
cheesecake.
soft cheesecake. All right,
You
so
mean
that
like
goes
Uncle Sensu's cake?
in. Yeah. 375. $3.75 for about 40 to 50 minutes. Okay, we're gonna test it with a knife or a toothpick. It should still have some wobble to it, but if you stick a toothpick or knife in, it shouldn't come out wet. It might have some remnants because it's we got the cheese and pumpkin, a lot of these wet ingredients, but it shouldn't be like wet in the center. Okay, and you can refrigerate it at that point.
Yes,
You can-
fridge.
I do have a fridge under here. You can refrigerate it at that point. That's what it should look like. Nice golden brown, and yes, we want cracking. None of the fussiness from like a regular cream cheese. We have to avoid the cracking. If you want it there, you can release the size, which I did.
Wow. It's probably easy to freeze too.
Exceptional.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a nice dish. You want to make it part of your snack too.
Yes.
Like it's
Yeah.
dessert, but it's not part of your snack. You can cut this into like nice little squares, and it will freeze really, really well.
And then, like, if you have a low appetite again, it's great. If you have these smaller portions in your freezer, you just take it out when you're hungry. Well, sometimes you don't have hunger, but if you're timing it, you're going to have a snack. This is easy. You don't have to prep it. You just take it out.
Right. So I'm going to do a little flip work here.
Does it freeze well?
Freeze really well.
Yeah.
Oh,
pretty.
top off.
You
Okay.
make it now for Thanksgiving.
Even last time we were in our house, I thought I'd ask.
You thought you'd ask. Yeah.
I don't mean to make it
I know, right? Yeah.
but I like the other side better. So we're just
Oh,
gonna
I
flip
like
it back.
that side.
You like that side better?
Yeah.
Oh, I like this side.
Okay.
We'll flip it back. We'll flip it back. Nice and
No, it's okay. I see why you like this side.
absolutely. So there we go. Knife. Let's cut into it just so you can see.
But you also saw that technique if you wanted to flip your cake.
Yeah. Take it. So
Oh, wow. That's so smoothly. So this would also be good if you had a sore mouth or throat. The smell isn't too strong, and sometimes if you have nausea, you don't want a strong smell. So this is a great option for that too. Not just a dessert, but a snack, like you said earlier. You can have it any time of day.
release.
Oh, nice. Nice,
We
nice.
have our pumpkin ricotta semolina cake.
There it
Lower
is.
it down.
See the side there, yeah. Beautiful.
And that is the last recipe.
Yay.
Yes, you did it. Nice. Just on time, 1 o'clock on the button. Thank you to everyone joining us today. Thank you everyone joining us online. Thank you to Farmer Glenn and all your support for UHN and for our class and our program. All these recipes will be up shortly. And join us in October. We have another special guest. It's going to be a really, really fun class.
Don't know the date.
October 16th, I think.
October 16th? Okay.
I know. Sounds like I think it is the 16th. Sounds like it's early. And then quickly before we say farewell, there were a
Lots of
couple
questions?
questions, that we will ask. Back to recipe number 2, regarding the resistant starch
Yes.
in cornmeal.
Yes.
The question was, is there a different kind of cornmeal that is more resistant?
Good question. No, I think the resistant starch is the same. However, you can, if you go to a medium grind cornmeal, you might get more fiber in that. So I was actually comparing some of Bob's red mill cornmeal, and I noticed that the medium grind cornmeal had more fiber. The resistant starch is going to be about the same, and the finer grind had less fiber, but resistant starch same.
Perfect. And then the other question was regarding the dried mushrooms, if there's a specific brand of local dried mushrooms or Ontario dried mushrooms. I'm actually not aware. There are a few at your regular grocery stores that are coming in like a little package, a little box, but I know that there are others that come from like Italy and Europe and other places as well. So I know that I think it might be not to like brand drop, but I think Healthy Planet might carry some local dried mushrooms, so maybe check them out. But go to your farmer's market too. Again, support your local farmers. Go to your farmer's market. I think the advantage, obviously the produce is fantastic, but you get to build that relationship, which I think is so important. You can ask these questions. Do you have some local dried mushrooms? Do you know someone where I can get some eggs, some local eggs, right? So I think we're starting to lose this relationship with our growers and with our agro, and it's important. We have it accessible. We just have to go out and take advantage of it. So support local farmers.
And also with that seasonal eating, we included some links with the recipes. They'll probably be online too.
Yeah, we'll post them.
Like what like for us, we have Foodland Ontario, but I found another wonderful website called Canadian Food Focus. Have you seen that one, Jeremy? And it talks about, that's where I got the fun facts. That's where I got the fun facts.
Yeah, great.
And then Farmer's Almanac, if you're thinking of I saw how you can follow the moon on the Farmer's Almanac, which reminds me of my dad
Right.
when he was making wine.
That reminds me of Back to the Future.
Okay.
I think they use it. Anyways, that's a weird drop. I think a good place to end it. So thank you again for everyone attending, Farmer Glenn, everyone watching online, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Back to the Future? They use the Farmer's Almanac?
Didn't we use that to like?
We can watch it again.
I think it was.
You're right, I think they did.